are documents, information that's used to prepare our documents and all of our program in the agenda. And now I wish to introduce the leader of our executive team from Canada, our international president, Virginia Casale.
Thank you, Michael. Bonjour, good morning. Now, if I see somebody sleep, Jean-Pierre? What a beautiful room, isn't it? Let's applaud the Grand House. But one very important thing, in the first housekeeping note, I'm starting with that, is this room has to be turned around at 4 o'clock for tonight. Our gala night is here. So just think about it. Turned around for about maybe 1,000 people here. So we have a nice, beautiful, great agenda, but we need to stick to it today. So when we do presentations, when we do many things, when we say please do not applaud, every minute is counted. I need your collaboration so that we stick to what we do. All right. The thank yous for the organizing committee were done by Michael. And of course, what do I do first? I have to give my first word of gratitude to the General Secretary, to Michael, who maintains the communications channels open from our blog, from our radio, and the thousands of emails. He's the superhero. He is. My appreciation also goes, of course, to my team. My 3 Vice Presidents, Emmanuel, Colin, and Simon, who work diligently across the world with their different duties. My invaluable Jean Roland, who keeps the accounts balanced in Paris. My Jean Roland Boutier, our treasurer. Our French President, Lionel Laurent. Thank you. Our French President, Lionel Laurent, who maintains our Paris office in good order. Our past President, Robert Watson, who contributes still in so many levels of our board, in so many projects, and today he'll be part of the Andy Pongo Committee at the Congress. Thank you, Robert, for everything you do. Mr. Shujat Khan, the Assistant Secretary, who is the one who will take care of the new book of members. He's the superhero in that aspect, and Shujat does so many other different projects invaluable to our board. My 7 zone directors, from Maurice to Tamas to Federico to Gregory to Michael, Simon and Sami, thank you very much for keeping your zones also in order. And last but not least, today we're so fortunate to have among us two sages, Albert Ostertag and Aldo Giacomello. An applause to them. Thank you. Our last executive meeting brought us for the first time in Visois. After so many years, it was an incredible reunion for our sages to have this moment together, and we as an association directly benefited from this because they are a wealth of knowledge. My sincere appreciation goes to the President d'Honneur, Aldo Giacomello, and Claudio Casale, the Swiss President, for making this meeting a reality. Visois represents our heritage, the spirit that started after the First World War, which is still alive today. That spirit is still with us. We have just entered. 2012 is our 60th anniversary, 1952, 2012. So this is a special year for us, and what a beautiful way then to launch us in Visois with La Charte and everything we did, the work we did there. My first words that I would also like to say is the address that we had last year, a quote from Isidore Sharp when he addressed us in Toronto, which was a few words on attitude. I'd like to share that with you today. The longer you live, the more you will realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think or say or do. It is more important than appearance or skill. It makes or breaks a company, a church, a home, a person. The remarkable thing is that we have a choice each and every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the string we have, which is our attitude. Life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it. We are in charge of our attitudes. With the right attitudes and values guiding us, everything is possible. On that note, I'd like to continue saying technology will continue to advance. Our guests will find new sources of information and recommendations, but nothing can replace the services that we can provide. A highly personalized experience and the recommendation of who we are as trusted friend. For those who were in Toronto, I mentioned that my presidency had different focuses. Among others, a better hotel relations with head offices, to encourage and to facilitate hotel groups to consider hosting meetings at our events. Well, you saw yesterday, this was delivered in London, and I'm so happy about it. I'm so happy to say that some concierges sitting in this room had their trip paid and their expenses paid due to the Toronto Congress. And this is the reason that we invite general managers and leaders to build the respect for our association. However, my main focus as your president, my legacy, which is going to be finishing in a year, is education. As mentioned in Toronto, I believe in education through much stronger collaboration with all the different hotel institutes around the world. I have been admiring the French section with the development of courses in Toulouse. Over the past many years, I was always looking at what they were doing. The Americans that have been giving different lectures at different levels, and even they were teaching in the Caribbean section. The Austrians, they have been collaborating with Bad Gleichenberg, the school, and after London, tomorrow morning, I'm flying to Vienna to go visit the school. For those who were in Vienna many years ago, we had the students helping out at the Vienna Congress. And a few weeks ago, I was in Amsterdam for a tourism event, the Orakava event, and I was there just for 48 hours, and I asked the Holland section, the President Mackenzie, to make me visit a school. And in 2 hours, I visited the school that past President Robin van Putten collaborates with. I was very happy to speak with the principal and to the dignitaries there, and to have those 2 hours, I even managed to visit a classroom with students. It was absolutely fantastic. I heard about the schooling in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. I'd like to know more about it. I heard about Istanbul. You also collaborate with different tourism schools. All these different examples I've just given you, I want to have the information. I would like all of you to send me your information. I will gather this information and I want to use it. I want to organize it for the good of all. This is the legacy I want to leave behind. Education is the only way we increase awareness of our profession and what we stand for. had the pleasure of being invited in my town, in Montreal, at a tourism and hotel school. It's called we call it the UICH, Institut de Tourisme et d'Hôtellerie du Québec. It's a government school for tourism and hotellerie, and I was asked to spend one day with the students. These students were at a university level. They do both courses, college and university. By the way, an anecdote. This school, while, since I'm in England, it makes me think of that, Prince William and Kate, after their wedding, their first trip was in Canada, and they spent one day in Montreal. During that one day in Montreal, they asked to visit one school, and it's this tourism school. So it was all over it was very much all over the media, and the person who welcomed these students was my bellman. Antoine is a student from that school which I hired. So we had Antoine everywhere on all the media. It was fantastic, and I just had that image following me everywhere. I had the pleasure of introducing the profession to the school for a day, and after a week, I was called upon 4 students from that classroom, and they told me when they finished, they were finishing their last year of university, they had to write a thesis, a report, and they decided to write the report on Clé d'Or. Then they asked me, which country would it be good that we write this report on? Which country, Virginia, you think needs the most, is going through the most development and restructuring or whatever? And I mentioned to them about India, our last country that was accepted, the 42nd country. Well, they presented that to their school and they were accepted. So 2 young girls and 2 young boys from the UICH will be flying to Mumbai in May and spending 2 weeks, not to visit, but to work on their thesis in collaboration with Les Clefs d'Or India. This came out just from one day presentation. You see the links we could do. All this could be done around the world. This material that I want to gather is for people who do different things around the world, but to give also to countries who do not have a link with the tourism schools. This way you have material, you have a proof of what's going on around the world, and you can build on that. We contribute our energy, not for money or for glory, but for love of this profession and this organization. Passion, motivation, devotion, solidarity, and generosity are all there for the good of our societies, and we work with that. Values such as respect, tolerance, and teamwork, and peaceful negotiation. These are all elements I also use, these same words I used when I was Canadian President for 6 years. And these values have been implemented in me by my 3 past presidents from Canada that are here today. And I need to mention them. My 3 Rocky Mountains from Canada, my mentors, Jeff Argue, Tony Daoud, and Gerard Parent. I don't know where you are, but guys, you are my mentors. Thank you. Thank you for everything you've given me. Your strength, your guidance, you are the ones who put me here. Another point I'd like to mention in my introduction is I dedicated my 2 years of presidency to the women Clé d'Or around the world. In this dedication last year in Toronto, I was trying to be inspirational. Simply attempting to be an example to women in the profession that they can move forward in a leadership position. In many countries around the world, women are employed as concierges in equal numbers to men, and yet they are underrepresented in leadership positions within the organization. I'm hoping that they become more active, to take more responsibilities, and to seek office. They should feel that they have a place to serve. I'm also hoping that when I do my visits throughout the world during my term, I can provide this example to women. My statement was, again, I repeat, a celebration of our diversity as an organization, Les Clefs d'Or claims that we have no culture, that we have a culture of diversity, then we must embrace the differences among us and celebrate the achievements of those who are different. What we have in common binds us, but it is our uniqueness as individuals that make us stronger as an organization. Now please use the knowledge that you gathered yesterday, that you have acquired, all the documents that you receive here, what Michael just presented to you, the booklet, these agendas, the keynote speaker, pass that on to your sections, to your general managers. Pass on the statistics you received yesterday. They were again on your chairs from Toronto. Use them. These are for you. These are to promote our associations all the time, to promote our profession. Nurture, educate, and pass on our history, our incredible history, our 60 years that we're going to celebrate this year. Use that at every occasion. Speak to tourism boards, speak to tourism schools. This is how we build our future, our profession. Become ambassadors of Clefs d'Or. These are my opening notes. Thank you.